Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It's great to see you all. We're going to talk about the Clarity Act today, since that's what's going on in the crypto space. We need to cover it in detail so you guys know exactly what's happening. It's becoming very complicated. From what I understand, the vote is now pushed back. It was supposed to be voted on Thursday, but it looks like it's being pushed back a bit. So we're going to talk in detail about what's exactly going on and what you can expect here over the next few days and few weeks. But first, let's just check in to see how everybody is doing. We got Husky Tom. He was here first. I think he's probably still excited from that Bears comeback win and victory. Man, was that an exciting game on Saturday. I could not believe it. I bet you are a very excited human being right now, Husky Tom. Great to see you, man. Peter O'Neill's here. What's going on, Peter? Great to see you. Nicole's here. Great to see you, Nicole. We got all of the OG people here early. Great to see everybody. Let's see here. Peter, Nicole, you guys going back and forth. We got somebody check in here. Lee, just good evening from England. Thinking we're about 10 hours ahead, right? 23:18. I was going to bed, but it's worth staying awake for. Lee, what's going on, man? Thank you for staying awake for a little bit longer. I'll give you some good news and information here. Great to see you, Jordan. What's going on, my man? Let's see who else is here. Lots of conversation happening. Got Ariana checking in. We have LAX checking. LAX changed his name again. I think this is easier for me to realize who you are. Thank you, LAX. We got Noah saying, what's up, Noah? What's going on, dude? Nameless XRP. Good to see you, man. What's going on? Fox Sake, great to see you. Crypto Mercenary, what's up? Christopher, what's up? Crypto Girls Experience, hello. Sveta, hello. Bill Martin, great to see you. Oh, Bill Martino, sorry, excuse me. Great to see you, man. A lot of people checking in. Let's see here. We got Joe Long says the Democrats are in the bankers' pockets along with some of the rhinos. I mean, you're probably right about all of that. I'd imagine it's not just them though, right? I mean, it is across the aisle. It doesn't really matter if you're a Democrat, independent, or Republican. You're in somebody's pocket, I think, at this point, with all the lobbyists and special interest groups. But we'll cover some of the news, and, you know, kind of is what it is at this point. But all we can do is go through the information to better understand it together. And we'll do that, man. We'll do that together, man. We got somebody checking in for Qatar. Thanks, boss, for all the information you're giving all the time. Greetings from Qatar. Roland, great to see you, man. Thanks for being here. What's up? Deplora Base, great to see you. We got Phil checking in. Oliver checking in. Man, we got people checking in from all over the world. It's so great to see all of you. All right, let me do this. I could say hi to you guys for like half an hour, but let's do this. If you guys can appreciate if you support the channel, if you can hit like if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on X, if you can share out the stream, I would greatly appreciate that support. Thank you so much. Let's pull up the information as we know it right now. Let me just make sure I'm sharing the right stuff. Let's get into the regulation stuff first, then we'll get into like the market here. Okay, so this letter was sent, and if you watched my video on this, I don't even, it might have come out already, but we're going to be covering some of the stuff I did go over in that earlier video, and I have some additional context I want to give you. So this letter was sent out yesterday on the 12th. It's to Tim Scott, chairman of the U.S. Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. Basically, the letter was asking for more time here. The letter asked Tim Scott and Elizabeth Warren, as chair and ranking member of the Senate Banking, to hold a full public hearing before the committee marks up the comprehensive digital asset. The signers complained that as of 6 p.m. on Monday, neither senators nor the public have seen the actual text in the bill. So what they're saying here is, as of yesterday at 6 p.m., whatever Eastern, nobody really knew what was in the bill, which is kind of scary, right? And how I understand this, there's two different committees in the Senate, right? There's the banking committee, and then there's, I think, the agricultural committee. Yeah, here, let me pull this up so you guys can see this, because I was like, why is there two different committees and this and this? And so here, check us out. So here's the big picture. Congress is trying to build a single comprehensive federal crypto market structure framework that covers both digital commodities and securities. To do that, they split the work. So the work has been cut in half. One of the committees is taking the SEC stuff, and the other is taking the CFTC stuff. Okay, and so to do this, the work was split between the Agricultural Committee. They write the CFTC digital commodity piece, and then the Banking Committee writes the SEC stablecoins and securities piece. Those drafts are then merged into a mega bill, and that is what goes before the Senate. The Ag Committee oversees the CFTC, so the bill focuses on giving the CFTC clear authority over the digital commodities spot markets and registration rules for exchanges, brokers, and dealers. That is the Bozeman Broker Digital Commodity Market Structure Draft, whose markup was just moved from January 15th to the last week of January to nail down bipartisan support. The Banking Committee oversees the SEC and banking regulators, so its draft handles the security side. What counts is as an auxiliary asset, how the tokens and issuers are registered or disclosed, and the rules around payment. So it sounds very complicated, and it sounds like, listen, I think the problem, and I'm just speaking from my experience when I see kind of Congress and the Senate pushing bills through, what I understand is these people, some of these bills are hundreds of pages long. And sometimes these senators and Congress people, they don't know what's in the bill when they're voting on it. And when you don't really share what's going to be in the bill until like a few days before it's supposed to be voted on, now everyone's like cherry picking what's in the bill. And they're like, I don't like this. I don't agree with this. We need more time. And that is what's, it sounds like that's what's being pushed back here. I'd rather them take a little bit more time and get this right than rush something through where it could be catastrophic. Now, there are some things in this bill that are maybe frowned upon. And so let's get into what those are. So here's a few things here. Some of the confusion around the Clarity Act and what's actually going on. John Bozeman, the ranking Republican of the Senate Agriculture Committee, is delaying the committee's markup until late January. His committee oversees the CFTC side. The Ag Committee doesn't yet have full bipartisan support. So in one of the committees where they're drawing up the bill, they don't yet have Democrats on the same page to push it through in the Agriculture Committee. Both these committees have to vote yes for it to become like this, the clarity, like the full Clarity Act, and then the Senate will vote on it. Now, they're going to need 60 votes when it goes to the Senate. And it's a very small margin in the Senate right now, and you're going to need some Democrats to cross the aisle and to vote for this. Some of the things that I noticed that people were talking about online, one of them is interesting here. It has to do with XRP, Solana, Litecoin, HBAR, Doge, Link, any asset that has an ETF, it looks like. Here's an interesting section that gives tokens classification as non-auxiliary assets based on their inclusion and exchange traded products. It says that the token is the main asset of an ETF listed on a national securities exchange and registered under Section 6 of the Securities and Exchange Act as of January 1st and is not required to file full disclosures that other tokens are required to file. So that's interesting too. I mean, there's a lot of like pieces that people are finally looking at and posting. And so I'm going to be compiling everything that I find, and I'm going to be putting into content. And so I can keep you guys completely up to date. I just want everybody to know that this is a very fluid situation and things are changing hourly. And so like, I record at least 3 to 4 videos a day. And what I try to do is when I wake up early, I try to get in and make at least 2 videos. And then usually like 2 or 3 hours goes by. I'll wait for some of the news to happen on the back half of the day. And then I'll record 2 more videos. And those 2 videos I record usually between 10 and 12 or 10 and 1 o'clock Hawaii time. Those will come out first thing in the morning. So you're always going to have news that's within a 12 to 24 hour period. A lot of the stuff comes out within a few hours on this channel. So we'd like to keep you updated. So here we go. We got a donation. Ho, ho, ho. Just wanted to say hi. I never catch you live. I watch you all the time and always wonder how you stay so positive all the time. Most of the time, I'm usually in the fetal position crying. Listen, Miss Claus, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate you. I think at this point, all we have is the positivity and good energy that we can put into this industry. I think there's so many incredible things happening. I know we can look at some of the bad things happening and we can, get overwhelmed with the negativity, but I think, I've been in this space now for over 5 years, and I've seen a lot of things come and go, a lot of promises made, a lot of expectations for the crypto market, and it does feel like we're finally getting to the meat and potatoes of it all. Right, we're getting to the point where the assets that we believe in are starting to be looked at by major institutions, and I can only be positive about that, right? Because I want more people to come into the industry, and if we fill it with all this negativity, people are not going to want to stay here and participate. And I think the energy that we bring and that I bring to the content, shows that like I love this space. I love everything about it. Even the bad things that happen, you're never going to find something in life that is just all rainbows and sunshine. You're going to have to deal with some of the bad stuff as we go through the good, and I'm okay with that. And I appreciate your donation. Thank you for being here and catching live. Let me see here. Since Canton Network has ETF that went live last year, doesn't that put in the same category? Does Canton have an ETF? I didn't realize that they do. I haven't seen anything about a Canton ETF if they actually have it. But if they do have it and if it falls under what I just went through, obviously that would be in the same boat. But we'd have to take a look at that. XRP Phantom, thank you for reposting the stream. That does help. I really appreciate you. If you guys are just now joining, we're going through what's going on with regulation here in America. Looks like things are being pushed back a bit, and we're going to talk about that more in detail here. I did want to bring up a few other things that are being discussed. One of the things that stood out to me is this, all right? So when we talk about the good and the bad, here is some of the stuff that might be considered bad. The Senate just released the new draft bill that could remove passive yield on stablecoins. So here is the section of the bill. Prohibition in the interest. A digital asset service provider may not pay any form of interest or yield, whether in cash, tokens, or other considerations, solely in connection with holding a payment stablecoin. So what this actually means, we'll get through the jargon here. The amended Clarity Act language says crypto service providers may not pay any form of interest or yield solely in connection with holding a payment stablecoin. Rewards can only be allowed when it's tied to an action like trading, staking, providing liquidity, posting collateral, or opening an account or participating in governance. This closes a current workaround where exchanges pay rewards on stablecoin balances, even though issuers themselves are already barred from paying interest under the Genius Act framework. So this is the banks kind of putting their thumb on the scale. And, I don't know how this is gonna turn out. I've seen a lot of people reacting negatively towards this, but we need to get the final bill. It needs to be voted on, and then we can kind of pick and choose kind of what we don't or do not like. Obviously, something can change, if enough people give feedback. So if there's something that, if you are in the United States and you see something in this bill that worries you, you have the power to pick up the phone and call your senator. Every state has 2 senators. You can Google who the senators are in your state. You can figure out a way to contact them and reach out. I can tell you that I personally have tried to reach out to some senators that are not in my state, and I basically got the cold email saying, not interested in talking with you since you do not live in my state. I was like, that's super helpful. Thank you. But I guess they got a lot of inquiries. But you have a voice, and I think that goes along with anybody in any country when you're having something like this voted on. If you go to the ballot box and you vote for someone, whether they get in or not, you still have a voice, and you should make your voice known. Let's see. We got Game of Cats checking in. We got Chipper here. Great to see you, Chipper. That's the reason for the delay. So the reason for the delay, from what I understand, and now you can take my reasoning or you can have your own, is the bill was late to get released to all the senators, and they need to read and better understand what's in the bill, and they're asking for more time. Also, it doesn't sound like in the Agricultural Committee that they have enough votes to put regulation through. So you have two committees. You have the banking committee and you have the agricultural committee. One side, the banking committee is dealing with the security side, and the agricultural committee is dealing with the CFTC side. And so both need to approve it in their subcommittees to form this, Clarity Act, and then the entire Senate will vote on it. But you need both. You need both committees to approve it before you can combine the bills. So, man, crazy stuff. We got somebody checking in from the Philippines. Tobias, great to see you, man. How you doing? I'm going to have to watch the replay on this one. Absolutely, man. We'll try to keep it entertaining for you. Oh, my goodness. Sensei, I see your videos more than I see my wife. Oh, my goodness. Well, I don't know how to feel about that. It sounds like your wife probably misses you if you see me more than her. I do appreciate your support, and I hope you're able to find some more time to spend with the person that you decided to spend the rest of your life with. I know that's tough. Sometimes my work takes me away from my family, but my family understands that I am committed in this time of my life to this thing that I love more than anything. And I hope to have a lot more free time as the cryptocurrency is accepted and started to be used globally, right? My goal is to acquire the assets that I think are going to be used the most here, and hopefully over the next few years, those assets are worth a whole lot more than what I paid for them, and I can use that to spend as much time as I want with my loved ones. And I think that's what a lot of you are also hoping here too. So Rusty AUS says, Sensei, be real. They just vote as directed by the money overlords. They probably read very little. Yeah, I'd imagine you're right. I'd imagine that money and lobbyists, they play a big role here. That is one of the problems when you have so much money that goes into backing some of these campaigns. And I hear your frustration, but I can only read you and go over what is being said. My speculation is only worth so much. And I get it, right? There's been a problem in politics, especially here in the United States for quite a long time. And it can be frustrating. And I get your frustration, Billy, great to see you, man. Wife changing crypto. Yeah. See, I won't be doing that. I won't be doing that, but I know that maybe some people are looking forward to that. Whatever you want, it's your life. You got to live it how you see fit. Do what you need to do. Crypto industry is throwing millions at it. I mean, this is an important piece, right? If Congress gets regulation wrong, what's the point? So millions are being spent to hopefully get this right. And the Brian Armstrongs of the world are he goes to Congress and he says, we're doing this for the people. He's doing this for Coinbase, right? He's there for Coinbase, but I get why they say we're doing it for you. Who wants to make sure that Coinbase remains on top? And I get that, man. A lot of exchanges, they have a lot to gain or lose if certain rules are one way, and they want to put their thumb on the scales too, right? They want to, the Coinbases, the Upholds, the crypto.coms, they are, I think, the new infrastructure. That's where you're going to be able to do your stocks, your crypto, your bank. I mean, these are going to be very powerful companies once the regulation kind of gets over the finish line here, and they want to make sure that their voices are heard too. I totally get that. There was a comment there that I saw. Where did that go? Somebody had something interesting to say, but people keep talking here. Money overlords. Yes, we got that. Crypto industry is throwing millions at it. Saw that. Who got more money? The banking industry, the crypto industry, the banking industry. Not even close. Not even close, man. You got to imagine that just BNY Mellon, they have 55 trillion in assets under management. Crypto as a whole is what, like 3 to 4 trillion, 3 trillion? It's not even close. It's not even close, man. Is Brad Garlinghouse and Circle working with Congress? So Who was it? I think it was Charles Hodgkinson that said that Brad Garlinghouse has done more for crypto regulation in America than any other person. And I think, Brad has spent a lot of his time making sure that the rules do align with what's good for the industry. And those people are very important, to making all of this work. So here we go. We got Podsta says, new to crypto world, love watching your videos, learning a lot. Not much info or talk about the stuff in Australia. I do apologize. I will try to spend a little bit more time understanding what's going on in Australia and trying to bring those updates. I don't really make it specific to regions. If I see news that I think is worth talking about, I want to bring it all to you. I just haven't seen too many things posted specifically about Australia. But if you have something that you think is worthwhile, you can email me and I'll take a look. And if I can put a video together around it and educate what's going on in Australia, I'd love to make that happen, man. Oh yeah, so this is actually a pretty accurate comment here. So it says, funny how they want more time to go over regs and another shutdown is coming, delay tactics and greedy bankers. I think that is the overall frustration and definitely a concern on a lot of people's minds. So well said there. Hantu, great to see you. Hey, CS from Banero, Malaysian. Is it Malaysia? Great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I see what you guys are saying here. Sensei, if the US determines that no taxes on crypto in the US, do you think other countries will follow? I think it's a stretch to I don't think that'll happen personally. Me personally. I would love to be wrong here. But you gotta understand that no matter what they say to you in the background, right? This industry is about to transform the way that people move money and value around the planet, right? This is one of those technologies that doesn't just affect a few people, right? Like you have YouTube and a lot of people watch YouTube, right? But every single person on the planet needs to buy stuff or send money to a friend or family member or just live. And so when you're talking about a technology that reshapes how humankind moves value, that is something that, is going to make a whole lot of money. And if you don't think governments around the world want to tax that money, you haven't been following along with governments for the last millennia. Governments stay in power by taxing their, citizens. And whether you think that's good or bad, I can't argue, right? I'd like to pay less taxes, obviously, but I don't think we're going to get to that point personally. But hey, I would love to be wrong here. So we got Happy Taco Tuesday. Great to see you, Art Caffeine. How's it going? Great to see you, man. Appreciate you being here. What's the date? So it looks like this is pushed back to later on in January. There's not a physical date. It sounds like the Agricultural Committee is moving it to the last week of January. There's two committees. There's the Banking Committee that has the SEC side of it, and then there's the Agricultural Committee that has the CFTC side of it. You need both committees to move the bill forward, and that's when it can be voted on in the Senate. So it sounds like the Banking Committee is going to move forward with their SEC side of it, but you need the CFTC side, and that's going to be pushed to later in January, is so what they're saying here. So here, Ryan Fry says, Clarity Act delays are just the calm before the storm. Regulatory clarity unlocks XRP's true banking utility, and when banks start flowing trillions through, we'll all prosper big time. I think that's well said too, Ryan. I think a lot of us are looking forward to seeing our cryptos grow in value, and part of that is, of course, the use case around specific crypto assets. And so I'm with you, man. Did it rug? Did it really rug? Was it I don't think it was Mandani, wasn't it? What isn't it? Adams? I saw Adams promoting it. I wasn't paying attention to it. Hold on, deck screener. What was it called? It was called New York City, right? Let me pull this up. NYC. No, that cannot be. 42 million? Is this it? I mean, it hasn't rugged. It's got 42 million. I mean, it's a meme coin, right? Like it's a meme coin, guys. It's not a complete rug. If it's at 42 million, it's not a complete rug. Things go up very quickly. Like when you're talking about people FOMOing, I mean, look at Trump coin, Melania coin, or any meme coin that any person in the history has put out, right? If it's real or not real, you get this enormous pump. Usually some things can go into the hundreds of millions and then just completely drop off. So I saw the I don't know, is it Mayor Adams? I don't know anything about New York City and the politicians there. Hold on, what did I see? Is he a mayor? I don't know. Hold on, let me see. Let's pull this up. NYC. Yeah, this guy, former mayor Eric Adams, launched a crypto token claiming that it would fight anti-Semitism and anti-Americanism. The coin has crashed 81% from its peak. And then here you go. This is what I saw, right? Look at this. The worst crypto led by politicians. And so here you go. I mean, I think if you're trying to get ahead, right? People keep looking to the shortcuts, right? People keep looking on how I can turn a little bit of money into millions of dollars in 24 hours. I've seen this movie before. 99.9% of people lose money. All right. The crypto industry is filled with people that are losers, right? I've lost. I can't even quantify how much money that I've put into meme coins. You know, if someone says me something, hey, Sensei, this is going to be, great. This is going to be the future. This is, backed by such and such. Scam. I don't even care anymore. Like, I don't pay attention to any of these tokens. If I would have taken that money and just put it into XRP or XLM or HBAR, I'd have a lot more money at this point. So, I'm not even focused on 90% of the crypto industry right now. I don't think it's important at this point. I think what's really important is what institutional investors can invest in personally. And that's where I think most of the money is going to wind up, especially once you have regulation and companies have to register and they have to, have a business plan and show that they are actually use cases and there's a real company behind this. I think that's going to drive a lot of liquidity into things that matter, and the things that don't matter are going to just fall and die off at the side. So, it's your life. Buying a meme token is like buying a lottery ticket. 99.9% of people don't win anything, right? And just got to be very careful with what you do, right? This is the most important time that you guys have, and putting money into things that have no use case at the end of the day are one thing, right? Like if you're interested in like the meme coin, community coin genres, go with stuff that actually has a community already built around it, right? The shortcuts don't work, guys. The shortcuts don't work. All right, we got a donation here. Are you going to continue making videos after XRP reaches a high price? Maybe a yacht in Honolulu on the horizon? Listen, guys, I don't need a yacht. If and when XRP reaches whatever value it's going to reach, maybe the channel shifts. If there's still people that want information about XRP, I'll still create, right? I'm not, when I really started to create content about XRP, it was because I love the community, right? I love the asset, Ripple, listening to Brad Garlinghouse and Monica Long and Chris Larson and their vision for an internet of value. That was like mesmerizing for me. That's really what caused me to create this channel, because I wanted to tell as many people that would listen that there's this new technology that's going to reshape how finance and how money moves around the planet. And, that has led me to where I am here. And that's an incredible feeling that people are learning and they're growing and they're able to make maybe some better decisions with the right information. And that's very powerful for me. And I love that. Will I still be doing this if, I'm worth, 100 million or 500 million or $1 billion? I don't know. I think it'd be cool to travel around and to meet people from all over the world. I mean, just in the chat here, you have people from all walks of life, right? Everywhere around the world. And I think it'd be really interesting to see what those people are doing with their newfound fortunes and what they're doing with their lives. And maybe the channel takes a bit of a spin to that, right? And maybe it leads me some other places. That's the great thing about life. We just don't know where it's going to take us. And but I do know, if and when all of this takes place, there's going to be a hell of a party globally, and you're all invited. Obviously, we'll have to rent out a hotel or something fantastic, and just enjoy all the hard work, guys. Because let's be honest, everything that you're doing every day, when you spend 30 minutes or an hour learning, that's work, right? And we wake up every day and maybe we go to a job that we don't love. There's probably people at that job that mean a lot to us, and they're our friends, and we'd maybe like to do something else with our time, spend more time with our kids, do hobbies, whatever it is that you want to do with your time. Some people are going to be like, Sensei, I'm going to build the best video game setup and I'm just going to be a gamer all day long. Like whatever it is that you want to do, this is the hard work it's going to take to get there, to understand the transformation, to understand the technology. And that's going to be very powerful when all of this stuff, actually goes down. So I'm really looking forward. Take me to Valhalla, man. We're all going to go together. I love it. Bank of America partnership is old news. One of the first partnerships. They make it sound like it's new. I think when people talk about it, right, they're part of it's maybe for views. Part of it is, we're getting closer and closer to banks being able to use the technology at scale. And so, there's a lot of new people entering the space. And whether it's, it might be old news to you, but it might be brand new news to somebody else. And it's really difficult. Like when I make content, I can't just make it for the advanced XRP people. I got to make content for anybody, right? Anybody watching that. And so I get the frustration there. But I know that most XRP content creators, are here because they love the space and they love the community, and they think that specific content is valuable. So, it is what it is, man. My dog, how's my dog? She's good. She's so tired. She's exhausted. I've been, so I go from like the living room to the office back and forth when I'm recording content. And usually Tuesdays are a little crazy for me because I'm making, 3 or 4 videos. There's, meetings with partners and clients, and I got to plan what I want to do and what I want to talk about in these streams. And so Luna's been going back and forth all day and she's just exhausted. So I appreciate you asking. She's doing good. Thank you. Party in Key West. I love it. Yes, we're going to have a hell of a party. Where's Nicole? She's in charge of the guest list. So you gotta get in good with Nicole there. H-bar video is coming. H-bar video is coming. So I'm trying. So there's been talks with my team about maybe creating a second channel where I can talk about XLM and H-bar and some of these other assets that people really like. And I just created a video about H-bar, Hedera, and Canary Capital and their ETF. So that should be dropping later today, actually. So interesting that you said that. So it's definitely coming. We're meeting at Rick's in Key West. All right, Justins. I love it. Everyone is to wear an XRP shirt. That'd be really cool, man. That'd be really cool. Man, it's going to be exciting, guys. All right, let's get into some other news here. So I thought this was interesting. Sander Lutz, not really familiar. So senior writer at Decrypt Media. And so he says, key updates. Coinbase is telling the crypto industry to stand down on opposing the stablecoin yield language for now. A source with direct knowledge tells me saying it's a win for the banks, but it's basically the least favorable language that they would support. If it gets worse, the banking lobby extracts even more changes, that posture would change. Coinbase, this person saying Coinbase is not the only one of the crypto industry's most powerful DC lobbyist forces, but also a key player in stablecoin yield debate. Would seem the company thinks the loopholes are decent enough for yield and stablecoin activity, loyalty programs, etc., that could live with. So, some people are trying to find, I don't even know how you would phrase this, but like the good within the bad, right? And so, I need a dedicated channel for ZBIC. I mean, there's a lot of really good content creators already talking about ZBIC. That's not something that I'm interested in, unfortunately. I know there's a lot of community members that think that that's a great project, and my hat's off to you, more power to you. But it's just not something that like there's 10 other tokens that I would rather buy before I bought ZBIC. So unless something changes, maybe like their team reaches out and tells me some game-changing information that causes me to want to buy ZBIC. I just don't see that happening, but I appreciate you saying something. You want to hear information about me? I mean, we're always trying to share. What can I tell you about me personally? I like playing cards. I like Texas Hold'em. I go on Saturdays and spend some time with good friends, and we play a little bit. We watch a football game. That's kind of the time I get to unwind. I spend a lot of time with my dog and my wife. Live in Hawaii. What else is there? I mean, I my whole life revolves around the crypto industry. So, not sure what else I can tell you other than like favorite foods or something. I'm not sure you're too interested in that. Watching your videos every day. I appreciate you, May. Thank you so much. I hope you're learning. Sensei Max Bench 350. No, I don't want to get that big. I'm just trying to be a little bit more healthy. I had some, health challenges and things like that. I had hip surgery last year, still trying to just recover from that. So there's some, way bigger people. I'm not trying to, I'm not a gym person. I'll go a few times a week just to try to stay healthy, but not going to be spending most of my time here. Let's see. Do you have a do you do a channel on XRP ecosystem partners? Well, we're still trying to get Flare in. I'd really like to talk with the CEO of Flare. It takes some time to kind of back channel and communicate and all that stuff. We're gonna try to set up something else, at least with some of their team, and try to get some more stuff. But do I surf? No, man, I would drown. I would drown. I don't have the balance, man. I'd be washing up on shore, just done. You'd have no more XRP updates from me. I hold a little Solana. I think Solana is going to be like the big three. The big three, I would say Ethereum, Solana, XRP. Okay. And like if you wanted to layer on additional like tokens, communities that I think are going to be very powerful, HBAR, Chainlink. I think Chainlink is going to be a vital piece of the puzzle. Ondo, Flare. Ooh, what else? I mean, like this is hard when you start making lists, right? XLM. I know I like a lot of people started, like I see a lot of posting about like Litecoin, like anything with an ETF, I'd say pay attention to, because that's where a lot of institutional money will flow from. So, Bank of America earnings call tomorrow. Watch what they say. I'll take a look. Wayne Smith, great to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. What about videos about how these crypto technologies can work together? Daniel, that's a great idea. Let me go ahead and I'll take a photo of that. And I'll put that definitely on the list, man. Thank you for your suggestion. Don, I'm not the prediction guy. You have a lot of people that make predictions. I'm just going to give you the news. I don't think anybody truly knows when things will take off. Whether it's next week, next month, next year, or on the back half of 2030, I don't think anybody truly knows. But I've seen a lot of really intelligent people in the XRP space, say by 2030, they believe XRP could be like $1,000 and something like that. Like it all goes down to like, if something can go to $10, it could probably go to 20. And if it can go to 20, it can go to 50. If it can go to 50, it can go to like, and so on, right? It's really going to depend on the demand for that particular asset and the available supply of that asset. And so if the whole world woke up tomorrow and understood that XRP or Solana or Ethereum was this part of the future financial system, and you had 1 billion people coming in to buy that particular asset, do you think the prices would stay, $2, $5, or would they be an astronomical price? And I think people don't quite understand yet that every bank, financial institution, or corporation, doesn't matter what it is or where it is, if they want to scale over the next 6 to 12 months and grow, they're going to have a crypto strategy. It's a must. And now, whether that's a crypto treasury strategy, where we've seen a lot of companies start to do, or if we're talking about using that crypto in their infrastructure, I think everyone will have a different strategy, but they must have a crypto strategy, because if they don't have a strategy, their competitors are going to have a strategy. And if you can start using the technology to move money instantaneously and earn yield off that money and not participate in the Nostro Vostro system of old, I mean, you're going to have an edge in whatever industry that you're in. People are going to find ways to use the technology. And that's really where things get very, very powerful. Jezabar, great to see you. How's it going? Missed the news on the Clarity Act during the rally the past 2 hours. Use the high Bitcoin to switch when XRP. So the news on the Clarity Act is there's 2 versions, right? There's 2 pieces of the bill. There's the SEC side of the bill in the banking committee, and then there's the CFTC version in the agricultural committee. The agricultural committee is asking for more time. They moved their vote to the end of January. It does look like the banking committee still wants to make a vote this Thursday. Now that could change. There's like, it's a very fluid situation. Think of like a wave, going over. I mean, things are changing every second, like every millisecond. So, things could, Canton coin. Yeah. So like, I've seen a lot of positive news about Canton, just to talk about this. I think when you have the DTCC, which is, 100 trillion asset infrastructure for the United States, when they're working with Canton and Canton's announcing a lot of partnerships with some big institutions, I think people should take notice of that. And I think that is something worth, bringing up. I'm glad you did. Thank you. Mikey D, what's up, my man? From Philly. Oh man, what'd you think about that Niners game? Oh, I shouldn't have asked. It's probably still fresh. What am I doing? Oh, I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. Wayne, absolutely, man. I hope you're getting good info, bro. Zaman Wallet is showing a huge number right now. Yeah, I think Zaman is one of those technologies that I think a lot of people are starting to pay attention to. There's all of these different wallets and infrastructures that people like and believe in. I think Zaman is definitely a growing company, and I think they're going to be here for definitely some time here. So here we go. Someone said XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, Canton, Zebek, ADA, Algo, SHX, Sui, Say, Sol. I think that's a great list. I obviously forgot about ADA. So that's what happens when you trying to create a list off the top of your head there. Don't own any Algorand personally, but I know a lot of people believe in Algorand. Yeah, so guys, unfortunately, we are no longer going to talk about this, the name that nobody can say, because of the lawsuits and all of the stuff that's going on with that. I am just going to be Switzerland, and I don't want to say anything that can sway public opinion either way. I think it's a very explosive situation, and it's one of those things that I'm not going to engage in anything that related to those people right now. It's kind of crazy, man. Robinhood offering 0.3 fee on crypto for 60 days. Yeah, Robinhood's going to be a big player, man. Great to see you, Alex. How's it going, man? Man, it's so nice to come on stream and see everybody that shows up every week to learn. It's like I said, it's just an honor to spend this time with you guys. Yeah, Switzerland, need to be Switzerland. Yeah, yeah. Voldemort, exactly. Can't say it, man. Can't say it. So it is what it is, man. I hope that stuff gets worked out. I hope cooler heads prevail, but we're just gonna stay neutral going forward. Good time to buy more XRP, man. I bought XRP at like 180, 185. I bought a little bit more XRP a few weeks ago. I saw some outflows like here. Let me see here. I saw this today. Some people at BlackRock selling Bitcoin and Ethereum, 150 million, but that's still just a drop in the bucket. It's only 0.2% of the total money that they hold. So oh, great that you got the card. That's awesome. Yeah, if you've made it onto the Christmas card list, you got to be special. So great to see you, Kame. We'll have to go to dinner sometime soon here. I do enjoy our conversations, my friend. Can I guarantee an XRP price? I can't guarantee anything, man. I have no idea. I honestly, how much time I spend researching it, I can't tell you one way or another what's going to happen. I don't think anybody knows for sure. Obviously, with adoption, and the usage, you would expect things to increase, but you just don't know. And if somebody tells you that they do know, well, I've heard that before. I've heard that before. Do I think Flare can hit $1? I'll tell you what I think about Flare here. I think Flare has some really incredibly smart people working. They're building this whole DeFi infrastructure for not just XRP, but for other ecosystems too. And their goals are big. Like they're swinging for the fence. I've seen one thing that they're trying to get up to 5 billion XRP on the Flare network. And I think if they can achieve that at scale, 100x for Flare, is it possible? I wouldn't bet against those people. Like they're determined. They're talking about institutional usage on their network. And I mean, you've had this airdrop and this sell pressure for years. That's now ending. I said it before that I think, if anybody is looking at Flare, probably now's the time to take a look at that seriously. When you have the technology rolling out and you have the airdrop ending, I mean, those are two really positive things happening at the same time. In crypto, often, when you start to see big shifts like that, those could be opportunities for some people. If Flare is something that you're interested in, you should probably learn about that like right now, today. Like after this, when we get done here, start learning about Flare. I think we'll be talking about them for years to come. We got Michelle here. Thank you for your dedication. I've watched your channel for years, but it's the first time that I've been able to catch a live. I learned more from you than any other source. Michelle, that is just, thank you so much. That's an honor. For years, you probably were watching me back in the day when like things weren't as polished. It's an honor. Thank you, Michelle. I'm glad you're learning. Flare Army checking in. Yeah, that's a whole different thing, Rusty. We're not going to get into that, man. Yeah, well, so my editor is constantly working. I think my editor is probably one of the hardest working editors in the industry for how much content that we put out. We put out more content than any other XRP channel that I know of. I don't know of another XRP channel that puts out 3 to 4 videos a day. And so with that comes a full team of people behind me that work extremely hard to make sure that the content is not just knowledgeable but enjoyable to watch. And that's Cass. So you know, he works a lot. He works really hard. He gets paid really well too, but he works really hard. And I can't do with this without him. So I appreciate you, Wayne. How large is my team? My team, if you want to go through this really quickly, I have probably over 10 people, I would say. You have Cass is the main editor. He edits all my long form content. He edits integrations and things like that. I have 2 shorts people. One of them is Cass's partner, and one of them, her name's Tina. She does a good job. So that's 3 editors just there. And then I have a business development team, Neo Launch. They handle all of my business relationships and my emails and all of that stuff. I have people like Ariana here who are modding and removing scams and things like that out of the comments section to keep you guys safe. We have a team that does similar things on X. There's a lot of people that make sure that this channel is one of the best in the XRP and crypto space. So, I can't do this without them, and I really appreciate all their hard work. And we have all of you guys, like this channel would not be where it is without all of your support. So it goes a long way, whether that's you just watching content, whether that's you becoming a member of the channel, whether whatever it is, whether you're sharing the content out with your friends and family, all of it helps. So I really appreciate it. Yeah, did you see those clips? CNBC talks about XRP. Yeah, I love that. I love that, man. Oh, email. I appreciate you. I'll let the team know. I'll definitely let the team know. Yeah, the moderators work tirelessly because you know what, like what bothers me the most is the scams, right? And it sucks that YouTube doesn't do more to protect the people that watch, and it's unfortunate. And it's a full-time job for somebody to remove all of those and ban those new, because new ones happen all the time, right? And I think it's like bots that post, and so it's a lot of work. And we have Ariana and a few other people to help out with that. Kenneth, what's up, dude? First time I caught you live as well. Like how you handle things. It's not all just hype or and BS. So I feel like I actually learned something and hear the truth. Like we can get lost in the hype and all of the stuff, man. Like I've learned being in the space for a while that all we can really go off is what we know to be true. And sometimes those things change over time. Like sometimes we'll get updates and information. And my goal is to just tell it to you straight. Whether if it's good, bad, ugly, indifferent, I don't know, man. But I've made a promise to the community to just tell it how it is and grow together. And I think that's the most important thing. Tomorrow starts big Bitcoin buying all the way to Monday. What's going on tomorrow? Why is it starting tomorrow? What's up, Cheech? Gabe, what's up, dude? Yeah, 216 is nice. I mean, obviously, we're all hoping for higher prices and stuff like that, but just to see all of the updates and just being on the cusp of regulation, that's such a huge moment for all of us. And it's we're all hoping for some big things here, right? We're all hoping. XRP is going up tomorrow. What's happening tomorrow? Did I miss something? Did I not get the memo? Oh no, what's going on tomorrow? Loads of government's reports this week. Okay, what you got, Big Kahuna? What's coming out? It's going to 5. That'd be crazy. I mean, I wouldn't be upset about it. Big FOMO will happen for XRP soon. Okay. That means a lot of new people coming into the XRP space. I love that. What do I think about VeChain? You know, I own VeChain in the last cycle, and I just haven't kept up to date with all the stuff that the team's doing there. So probably not the right person to ask what's going on VeChain. You know, I wish I could add value and help you in that regards, but I just, you know, if I can't add value, I'm just going to tell you I can't add value. I'm not going to try to like pretend or make stuff up. Who's got the time for that? You know, no. All right, here's something I want to know, right? Because you know, this is not about crypto, but we got some big football games this weekend, right? My team is still in the running here. We're gonna have to play Seattle, which is not great. But who are we rooting for this weekend? I know some of you are Bears fans. So I know Tom is a huge Bear fan. Ariana is a huge Bear fan. Anybody looking forward to the games here? If Bank of America mentions XRP, then expect it to reach. But like, why would they mention XRP though? Like, what? Like, did I miss a piece of news that it's a possibility that they're going to mention it? Hero, I have not researched ZBIC, man. I cannot compare the two. I wish I could. I just don't know, man. Patriots for the Super Bowl. Okay, DJ. All right, Denver. The Winter Bee likes Denver. Niners, okay. Got some Bears fans, Niners fans, okay. Pat's been playing good ball. Man, I don't know. Houston's going to be a challenge. The quarterback didn't look great for Houston yesterday. If you watch that Steelers game, it was 7-6 at the half, and then it turned 30-6. The defense for Houston is insane. Oh yeah, see, Husky Tom is Bears. I like it, man. I like it. So Micro, we did talk a little bit about Canton earlier. You know, I don't think people can deny the partnerships and the use cases that are being announced in the DTCC. You know, they seem to be a very serious team and a very serious project. And you know, when you have partnerships like the ones that they're announcing, you should probably pay attention to that. You know. Oh yeah, like I'm rooting for Indiana. I'm rooting for Indiana. We're talking about college football now here. We're shifting gears. We went from NFL on the weekend to next Monday is the college championship game. It's Indiana, who's probably the best college football team I've ever seen play. The quarterback for Indiana is like, I don't know, man. That guy is just built different. And they're playing Miami. That's going to be a great game. I'm going Indiana on that though. Yeah, Houston did destroy the Steelers. They had no chance, man. All right, so we got some Miami fans here. That's going to be an interesting game. Go Jets. Oh my goodness, Jimmy. Hey man, you got to stick with your team. I love that. I love that. Indiana lock. Yeah, man. In Indiana, like, I don't know, man. I mean, Miami's played some great ball. They got great defense, but I don't know if you can stop that quarterback. Mendoza? I don't think so, man. International US football has nothing to do with international viewers. I get it. I'm not perfect, you know. This is exciting for me, so sorry. We'll switch the subject. Let's go back to crypto. All right, let me see if there's a few other pieces of news here that we can talk about since people don't like hearing about football. All right. So it's interesting here. So I want to show you this. Okay, so right now, the reason banks and institutions in the United States have not yet really fully engaged in crypto is specifically for this reason, right? There's something in the legislation against yield stablecoins. And you take a look here about how many 88 new yield bearing stablecoins were launched in 2025, right? This is why institutions are waiting for regulation to understand what they can and can't do in the industry. Because think about it. If you are a financial institution and you built something around a technology that you think is legal, but then regulation comes, right? You've released the technology, people are using it, they love it, right? Because you're moving money instantly, but then regulation comes and it basically says that you can't do something. Now you've put something out that customers are using that could be illegal. And so this is why banks and institutions are waiting for regulation before they move forward with certain technology. And so that is a great piece, right? That's just kind of showing you why it's important to wait. And then so Milk Road put this out. Stablecoins are better than banks, but this part of the Clarity Act sets rules around when stablecoin yields are allowed. It prohibits digital asset service providers from paying interest or yield when the only condition is holding the stablecoin, but it does not apply to rewards that are tied to specific actions, incentives connected to actions or transactions, transfers and settlements, wallet or application use, and participation in loyalty programs. The effort is to separate passive balance yield, base yield, from activity-based rewards. Stablecoins can still generate returns when they are used within a network or application, but not when they are held idle. If this sticks, they would not be permitted to function as interest-bearing instruments in the same way as deposit accounts. And here's a clip from Paul Grewal. This guy works for Coinbase. I'm going to play this and get some more water. I'll be right back.
We think that it's not surprising that the banks are looking now to revert back to a world where all of that economic benefit remains in the hands of the institutions. That's the business model effectively that they have relied upon for now decades. But we think it's very important to call this out for what it is and to hold firm on this basic idea that sharing economic benefits with participants in networks is frankly what crypto has always been about. And it's not up to Congress or anybody else to pick winners and losers. Let's let the marketplace sort all of this out. We don't think there will be any meaningful or really any impact whatsoever from this on community lending, which has been the argument that many of the banks have been making for some time. There's no empirical evidence whatsoever that rewards impacts community lending anyway, because the fact of the matter is that we don't see retail substituting stable coins for their deposits, particularly with the community banks. There's just no evidence of that.
All right, let's continue here. This is from Eleanor Terrett. Let me zoom in here. It says the Senate Banking Committee is aiming to file its latest still bipartisan market structure text before midnight. So this was on the 12th. And so that did come out, and it was described as a doozy of a day full of intense heartburn from both sides over stablecoin yield. So you can tell that stablecoin yield is a part of contention between the two sides here. We'll have to see how this plays out. Here's another clip. Zach Cohen, Democratic senators are pushing for hearings on the crypto bill, citing conflict of interest and ethic guardrails. Let me play this.
White House, given President Donald Trump's increasingly prominent role in the crypto industry and for that of his family, is something of a red line for a lot of Democrats. And so I think you're going to see a lot of Democrats vote against this bill sort of on principle. But if this bill does get across the finish line and get to Trump's desk, it's going to be on a very delicate bipartisan coalition here on Capitol Hill.
Zach Cohen of.
All right. And then you did see. Where's the clip here? I wanted to share this. Like, did you see Charles Hodgkinson? He's been speaking out publicly about this. Cardano founder Charles Hodgkinson's criticized the Trump administration for worsening the U.S. crypto environment compared to the Biden era by politicizing the sector and institutionalizing predatory behavior via meme coins like Trump coin. He argued that these actions destroyed the bipartisan window to pass the Genius and Clarity Acts in early 2025, citing a lack of clear regulatory framework for the industry consultation. Man, that is it is getting pretty bold. With that, I think Charles provides a lot of context and value, and a lot of people, kind of hang on every word that he says, and he thinks that that's a real big problem. I'm not sure what you guys think about that. Would it have been better if Trump didn't launch his meme coin? Would we have already had regulation? I really don't know. But I would hate this is my personal thoughts. I would hate to see crypto regulation fail in the United States because of, I don't think that that's a good enough reason for Democrats to vote against the bill, right? Come up with problems with the actual bill. Don't say that you're voting against this because of something the president did. That has not like that. Yes, he probably shouldn't have done that, right? Like there's probably ways that he could have done that a little bit better, but don't say that you're not going to pass something that 65 million people own right now in the United States because of something the president, like that is not going to hold water for me, right? Like if you have a problem with the bill, you go and you fix it, right? Like your job is to work it out. Go work it out. Like I do not want to hear anything about meme coins and this and that. It's not a good enough excuse. If you have a problem, you go work out the problem. That's what you are paid to do. We need to see it. Yeah, I mean, the meme coin probably didn't help the situation, but it's still not like, I don't feel like that is a good enough reason to not push the bill through. Like, figure it out. Sensei, can you do YouTube shorts on Flare and Wormhole? Hey, Tom. Let me take a photo of this, Tom, so it's like on my desktop so I don't forget. Yes, I will do that, Tom. I will do that. You know what? Like I need to put some content together. Absolutely. Hard to find good info. Your research is always on point. Appreciate you, Chicago Bears for the Super Bowl. Man, Tom, it does feel like that team is destined for greatness, man. I'll be rooting for you until if in fact your team has to play my team, I'll be rooting for your team. All right. You might be underestimating the greed and I don't need to say that. Wouldn't you agree that there's issues on both sides? I mean, we're not going to get into it too much, but to, for you know what? We're not going to engage. We're not going to engage. I get that there's frustrations on both sides. They just need to get it done. All right. Appreciate your feedback though. Thank you. Yeah. Politics is a very toxic thing, right? Half the people believe one thing, half the people believe the other, and we don't really get anywhere when we talk about it here. So it is a thing that boils over in people's lives, and those frustrations come up, and I get it. No society is perfect, and there's a lot of problems, and sometimes those problems get worse, and then they don't even get better; they just get worse. So it's gonna be an interesting year here. Yeah. Pepe's up 17%. Man, should have bought Pepe instead of the New York coin, right? Sensei Justin is wondering if I have more opinion about Lewis Jackson's white paper. I don't know like what's going on with Lewis Jackson. He's obviously feels that he's I don't even know, man. I can't speak for like why he's doing what he's doing. It's certainly getting people to talk about it. I've seen a lot of people call him out on X saying that he's wrong about a lot of stuff. I personally have not spent any time. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. And I'd rather just stick to the facts as I know them instead of one person's observation of the market. Like, I don't know, like where were these opinions for the last few years, right? Like why only now has these opinions come forward? Like, I don't know, part of me is like, did you not do the due diligence that you told everybody that you did years ago? Or like what has changed specifically in his life to now take this view? And like what's going on with that? I couldn't tell you, man. You're gonna have to ask Lewis Jackson about that. Well, actually, you should probably be thanking the Biden administration, right? Because that's who kind of started the whole oil revolution thing here in the United States. Under the Biden administration, they did what is it? They did pump more oil than any other country at any other time in history. And that's kind of led to where we are today. I think they're actually doing less now. I'd have to research that fact, but I do think it's less now than it was under the Biden administration. So interesting though, right? Ooh, now I really want to know. Now I really want to know. I have to know. How much oil was being generated under the Biden administration compared to the Trump administration now? And if I could spell administration, it'd be great. All right, let's just pull the trigger. Let's take a look here. All right. They don't have the new data? Okay, so here you go. So here's the first Trump administration, right? Here's the Biden administration, a new record of all time, another year record, and now they're just above. Okay, so they're just above. Oh, Biden 3.5. So actually, it's the same. So, I mean, see, like knowing those specific things, like people get so like, this is so great because of this person, but you got to look at the history of how we got here, right? Like, and that's what I like to explore and dig into, right? Like, I don't know. I got to stay away from it. So yes, he did when we needed it, but he also replaced it at a cheaper value and actually made billions of dollars doing it. You got to research it, man. You got to research it. You guys got to research the pieces, man. All good. We got to get away from it though. But like, we're like, I'm going to fact check things that you guys say in real time. Just know that like when you say stuff to me and like, I'm going to fact check you in real time. So like whenever we're talking on this channel, let's bring the facts to the conversation and not the speculation. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. See, like we're getting into like, we're crossing that line. All right. Any crypto related questions? We're going to go back to crypto related questions. We don't want to talk about football. We're good with the gas stuff. How much XRP is left? That's a great question. I've seen numbers as of recently, like last week, that they believe like Quant and different things, Glassnode, that there's roughly like 1.6 to 1.7 billion left on exchanges at a multi-year low. Obviously, people leave their XRP on exchanges, which doesn't really help getting you cannot get the exact count, right? Because you have, when people leave their XRP on exchanges, even though that's already bought, it's still kind of in a position where people could sell it anytime. So taking your XRP off the exchange and putting it in a wallet, that's going to be very important. Thoughts on World Liberty Financial? No, I don't have any thoughts on it. Is XRP recycled and reused? Yes, it can be recycled and reused multiple times. And so how you got to imagine this is there's going to be all of these different corridors, and it's only going to be reused and recycled so many times in a day. It's not going to be like infinite, right? And so you're going to have XRP between the US and Mexico is going to be this much XRP. XRP between US and the EU is going to be this much. And from Korea to Japan, it's going to be like, they're going to, that's kind of how all of these different on-demand liquidity channels are set up. So the more pathways and different currencies and different kind of channels to move that in is going to be beneficial. Sensei, is Maui Wowie tour favorite? So are we talking about ice cream now? Maui Wowie sounds like ice cream. Yeah, what is there, like one XRP is 1 million drops? You'd have to spend a little bit more time. Like, I don't know what your specific question is about drops. See here, the Clarity Act not getting passed this year or in the near future. I strongly recommend that everyone sell their positions immediately. It's going to crash with no recovery. Daniel, see, like this is what people don't understand, right? You think the crypto industry is going away. It's going to crash with no recovery. That kind of that doesn't speak truth to the moment that we're in. Is the market going to go up and down? Absolutely. But you're saying that the world is not going to adopt the technology, and that's just a comment from somebody that is maybe not educated in what's actually happening globally. You're having the head of the SEC saying that every stock is going to be tokenized in the next 2 years, and that's happening on blockchain. So how do you say that the industry is going away when we're right about to go through this explosion in use case for it? That doesn't make sense to me, man. I'm going to have to disagree hard with you on that. I'm going to have to disagree hard with you. Now, the market might go down. Absolutely, right? I think you're probably maybe either coming from this 4-year cycle angle, or I don't know what it is that you're thinking is going to happen here. But saying that the technology is not going to be used, I think is maybe some misadventure there. We don't need to speculate on this. We can look it up. DJ, can you speculate on how many people are in the top 10% of XRP rich list, given a lot of people have multiple wallets? Oh yeah, so that's impossible to know. Sorry, I should have read your whole question before I said something. You don't know who owns what. It's impossible. Like how would you figure that out? You would need everybody that owns XRP to report how much XRP that they own, and nobody has that data. Yeah, Mina Bank, that's we covered that. We talked about that like weeks ago. I appreciate you, CM. Thank you, man. Thoughts on Circle's acquisition of the core Axelar team? I know that I heard that there was some adjustments. I don't know even what would you call it? You call it adjustments? Do you call it changes to the Axelar team? I wasn't aware that Circle was the one who acquired them. I don't know how that's going to turn out. You know, I think companies are always looking to hire the best talent. And if Circle is going to hire those people, they believe that the team in Axelar has some of the best talent in the industry. I don't know what the deal was, but it kind of tells you what those people maybe were doing at Axelar, is something that Circle is very interested in. So maybe that's something that Circle might be exploring. I appreciate you, Justins. Thank you, man. The price action is depressing. So guys, like, listen, I used to look at the price every day, multiple times a day. And when the price is up, you're happy, you're excited. Maybe you're whistling, you're snapping your fingers. I don't know what. And when it's down, you're probably sad or depressed. Don't look at it. Unless you're day trading, what's the point? There's no point. It's just going to mess with your emotions, and emotions are not something that you should bring into trading. I know it's very difficult, and people are going to be people, but you gotta look past the price, man. The day-to-day price, it doesn't interest me at all. I know where we need to get to here, and looking at the day-to-day prices is only going to send you into a tailspin here. What value do I think XRP needs to reach to handle 15% of institutional liquidity? I don't know, man. I don't know. Hard to know. 15% of global payments, like all payments? Probably a lot higher. I mean, it depends on like available supply, you know, how much money we're actually talking about. There's a lot of metrics that go into it. It's not just something that you can come up with a random number. It's all depending on available supply. Like if the available supply is 10 billion or the available supply is 500 million, that number is going to be drastically different, right? So, hey, Sensei, do you think the Clarity Act will be approved? Will it take several months? I'm very excited now. I know that there's a big push to get it done. And I know that a lot of promises have been made about getting it done. And I think we're hopeful that it will get done. Can it go to a place where it gets shelved and put away for like 2 or 3 years? I guess. Would that be good for America? No, it would be really bad. It would be really bad because then the EU, Japan, Australia, like all of these other countries will lead the way, and the US will just, you know, that it would be a disaster, I think. And I mean, you have the SEC and you have all of these, you know, CFTC all pushing for all of these rules, you know, to help crypto adoption. I think it would set us back a lot, man. I don't think it would be good. Let's see here. We got Man United. You're the biggest clown in the XRP space. Nice. Making 3 to 4 BS videos a day with nothing of value. I appreciate your feedback. Thank you. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I appreciate your feedback. I'll try to make less BS videos. All good, man. I can't make everybody happy. I've accepted that. You know, if 30,000 people watch a video and 50 people are mad about the video and 29,000 people are happy with it, I'm fine with that. Good luck to you, man. I do wish you the best. Giovanni Shrimp Truck. That sounds good, man. That sounds good, Thomas. I'll take you up on that. I appreciate you, Mark. Yeah, you know, I get it, man. Not everyone's going to find my content good or useful. I'm fine with that. You know, a few years ago, that would have probably really messed with my self-esteem and things like that. But I do appreciate you getting that off your shoulder. I hope whatever's going on in your life gets better, right? Like when you have to go online and verbally attack somebody, I mean, something's going on with you personally. And I hope that gets worked out, man. I hope things get better for you. I do. And I do appreciate the feedback. Yeah, he's probably not a 49ers fan. That could be. Maybe he's an Eagles fan. That's why he doesn't like it. Could be. I appreciate you guys. No, you don't need to ban him. You don't need to ban him. I mean, if the person continues to like, you know, that's one thing. But I mean, yeah, even people that don't like the content end up watching the content. So what can I say? Peter Pan is mad at me. All good, man. No, guys, don't need a ban. Don't need to harass. Don't need to say anything back. It's fine. You know, we're okay with it, man. People are just people, man. Like people are often going through some really hard times, and usually when people lash out, right? Like we've all been there. We've had a bad day. Something somebody says is irritating, and we lash out. And then usually like hours go by, and I'm like, man, maybe I shouldn't have said that. You know, maybe I'll go delete that. We've all been there, man. It's cool. Yeah, the spot ETFs are definitely adding up, man. Spot ETFs are definitely adding up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I stepped in it. I stepped in it, Big Kahuna. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Ah. Man, you guys had every opportunity to win that game. I'm sorry, that was rough. I don't have kids. I have a dog, and she's everything right now. I see you, Scott. Scott, you text me every day, man. I know who you are. I hope you're well, Scott. And thank you for sending me the pictures from your garden. I love those. $831 links. What's up, dude? Is Hawaii expensive? Yes. I mean, if you're used to living in like California and you're paying California prices, it's not expensive. But if you're like living in maybe some middle America where things are a little cheaper, maybe, yeah, it's pretty expensive. But you can still find deals here. Like if you're going to rent or buy, there's a lot of traffic on this particular island. But I mean, you get beautiful weather every day, and the people are great. The food is amazing. I get to stare at the water every day, which is very peaceful for me. So, it's just like pros and cons, what's important to you in your life. Silver is rocking. Love that. Jen, great to see you. I hope you're doing well, Jen. What about the new stablecoin RLGP or LRGP? I don't know what that is, my friend. Yeah, this is a good comment here. Politics are here to divide people. Why the world people in charge that really run all the world pull the strings, and nothing happens without them wanting it to happen. I think there's some truth there. Absolutely. Let me see. Is there anything else that I wanted to show you guys or tell you guys before we ended here today? I mean, we pretty much got the full update on the Clarity Act. I'll continue to bring you guys all the updates I can. And yeah. Oh, you know what? I do want to say something. So next Friday, we're going to have a special guest. We're having somebody from Uphold come to talk. And this person is a very high level person at Uphold. We're gonna start telling people who it is. His name's Raj. And I'm really looking forward to this interview. So I would appreciate it next Friday. We're going to start at 2:00 Hawaii time, 4 p.m. PST. I'd appreciate you guys to come and show support. And if you guys have any questions about like how banking is transforming, that is going to be an incredible conversation. We're preparing all of the questions now, but if you guys have some things that you want to ask, we will take some questions from the audience. All right. Oh, Poppy, great to see you. What's up, Poppy? Love the name. Great name. Glad you chilled out with the advertisement in your videos. So, Kai, I know some people don't like advertisements, and I get that, right? But the channel does run on advertisements and people, right? I think the channel with memberships, the channel makes maybe like $500 a month from people's memberships, right? And so this is something where we have a full editing team, and there's a lot of people that rely on the channel, and working with close partners is a part of any business, and we're trying to be very selective of who we partner with. And sometimes videos will have some ads and integrations, and that's just so I can pay my people, to provide this channel, and I appreciate the feedback, and we try to limit as much as we can with the ads, and we're only trying to work with a few select companies in the crypto space. Yeah. So if you signed up before the end of the year with Uphold, you're still going to get that promotion, that 6% for a period of time. If you sign up now and you have the elite card, you're going to get 4%. If you just want to do the non-metal card and do the essential, you're going to get 2%. And you can combine direct deposit with those, right? Direct deposit's additional 4% up to, I think, like 250 back or something like that in XRP. You can combine the direct deposit with the elite card to get 8% right now. But you got in with the additional 6%, which is really great, Tom. I love that, man. You like my hair? I appreciate you. My hair used to be terrible. Like maybe like 10 years ago when I first met my wife, I had spiky hair and it looked awful. I saw a picture of me from like 10 years ago and I looked at my wife and I said, I can't believe you married me. And she laughed and she said, I told you your hair was terrible back then. She was right. James says, since I research Uphold as I have an account and it's not considered to be DeFi. It's an exchange. It's not DeFi. It's an exchange. They have all kinds of different services. Like you can do your banking with them. You know, you can have your Uphold card. I don't have my wallet next to me, but I have my Uphold debit card that I can use and get XRP back when I buy Luna stuff. Or, you know, it's just, you have all of these new services, right? But how can you use these services to gain more XRP? And, you know, they have limits on stuff as anybody would, right? Like you can't just do unlimited because that would be insane. Like people would be spending $1 million to get 4% back on XRP and just recycling it, right? Because you'd just be winning all the time. But it's like, how can you use these just little bits in your life to make it better, to stack more XRP? And that's just one way to do it, right? And there's all of these different opportunities that you just got to, you know, take advantage of while the getting is good. And I think that's one of those things that, you know, I really like working with Uphold. They're a great company. They have a great name. They've been in this space for a very long time. And, you know, I consider it an honor to be working with those people. You know, I think they're going to be here for another 10 to 20 years. And I'm thankful for that company, man. Yeah, it's about $300 a month. But hey, you know, that's 3,600 additionally per year. Every bit helps. You're going to spend the money anyways. Yeah, Gemini does have a sweet rewards program too. Absolutely. Take advantage, guys. Whether it's Gemini or Uphold, whatever it is that you feel that you can take advantage and get an edge, why not do it? How difficult does Coinbase make it to transfer? So like you can do whatever you want. Like they cannot just deny you from moving your funds if that's what you want to do. I would say research it. Make sure that you know what you're doing first. Make sure that where you're going, whether that's Uphold or another exchange that has all the things that are important to you. Make sure that you understand the fees, right? Because those are the most important pieces. And, you know, if you get better terms somewhere, you go where the getting is good, and you go to names that are respected and companies that have been here for a long time, and they're companies that are building the infrastructure for the new system. Like I like when Ripple was sued, there was a lot of exchanges that delisted XRP. Uphold kept XRP trading the whole time. That's a big thing for me. Sucks to be international. We don't get those kind of offers. You know, I know that sucks. I'm hoping that one day everyone will be able to get the similar rewards. Yeah, I mean, anyone's going to hold deposits. It doesn't matter if it's Uphold or Coinbase. When you deposit money into that exchange, it still has to clear your bank. And while it's clearing your bank, they're not going to let you move those funds off the platform. Just as if you were a company and somebody was making a deposit, right? And that deposit takes days to clear, you're not going to be like, hey, you can go ahead and take the money out, even though we're waiting for it to clear. You know, they're business for a reason. You got to stay a business. Can I do a video on fees? James, that's a good question. Yeah, let me see if I can put something together about that. I'll do my best, man. You know, like there's so many, you know, ideas and things that people want, and you know, there's only so much time in the day. I'll see what I can do to put something together that, you know, makes everything a little bit easier to understand. Yeah, use XRP to clear your exchange payments. Well said. Well said. 45 days, that's a long time, man. I think you're the first person to say 45 days. All right. It's time. You guys ready? You know what time it is, right? Hold on. Hello. You want to say hi? Oh, we're so sleepy. We got a haircut. We're doing better. We're so tired today. You want to say hello to everybody? Hmm? This is Luna. Yes, that's your name, right? That's your name. Yes. Oh, we're doing good. Oh, where are we going? Do you see that? Who's that? Is that you? Hmm? All right. I'm going to say goodbye to these nice people. You want to say anything before we go? Oh. Uh-oh. I said the right word here. All right. Come on, baby. All right. I have a streaming buddy. I do. All right, guys, listen. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all the comments, the good and the bad. You know, appreciate your time. I hope you're learning. We got a $20 late donation to the Luna Fund. Thank you, Kame. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys for your time. Like I said, next Friday will be that special interview. I hope you guys can show up and support the stream and the channel. That's going to be very important for me. And I'd love to see you guys there asking some questions and participating. But I'll see you guys on this Friday in 3 days, same time. I'll bring you a complete update of all the news that I know. And I really appreciate you guys. All right. You have a good day. All right. All right. Aloha, everybody.